Hello Chaos Gang and welcome back to my bullshit. Today I'm here alone. If you want any of Ali or I's socials, they'll be down in the description below. I say alone, but Skipper has come over and he's purring up a storm. So today we're gonna do another Am I the Asshole because I think they're fun, you guys think they're fun, so let's just have some friggin' fun. As you know, I like to judge off the titles before we get into it, so let's read the title. Am I the asshole for literally showing my dad how he behaves every day when he gets home from work? Based on the title, I'll say not the asshole because it sounds like y'all got beef and you wanted to show him why. My female 16 father, male 46, is the breadwinner while mom is a stay-at-home mother. She handles everything around the house like cooking, mopping, washing, laundry, etc. I'm the oldest and I try to help, but really there's only so much I can do. While my dad just gets home at the end of the day and literally complains about everything, like how the carpet isn't clean or how the food is cold. I already see where this is going. I'm just gonna throw up the chart that breaks down how much a stay-at-home mom would make if they were actually paid for that job. Because I think people forget that being a stay-at-home mom is a job. You're not only doing childcare, you're doing house cleaning, you're doing the grocery shopping, you're being the chef. Assuming he's not helping at all, which it seems like. So to come home and be like,
but is that a spot on the carpet? Did you vacuum?
That's annoying. As a result, I'd have to listen to a huge argument daily between him and mom. It's exhausting, but honestly, I think that my dad is in the wrong here. I tried talking to him to get him to see how his behavior is, but to no avail. So you did the first step, which is try to like notify him of his behavior, try to talk to him, trying to communicate. So still not looking like the asshole yet. And also being in a house with parents that are constantly arguing is fucking exhausting. Having to listen to constant arguing and like trying to fix it but can't do anything to fix it and then they just end up mad at you. It sucks. So what I did was pick a day off for him and pretend to act like him. I put together an outfit that looked like a suit and put black tape over my lips to look like a mustache. At 6 p.m. I went inside the house, shouted, "I'm home," then sat next to him in the living room and started kicking my shoes while complaining about the state of the house at the top of my lungs. He glanced at me confused, asking what I was doing. I ignored him, then started yelling about the carpet being dirty, shower not ready, the kids needing to be quiet, and so on. Ooh, even complaining about how the kids need to be quiet when you get home. I understand that like after work people sometimes want a little bit of a break, but your kids are just probably excited to either see you or just having a good day of their own. Like, why are you raining on that fucking parade? Are you trying to go behind the blanket? There you go, sweetheart. He likes it behind there. He kept staring while mom and my siblings laughed. My youngest brother kept pointing towards me saying, "This is daddy." I then proceeded to yell about dinner, then berated my mom for not preparing it in time. My dad stopped me and in a serious tone asked what I was doing. I turned to him and said, "What? Can't a man effing rest after working long hours?" in the most macho voice I could muster. My dad got the hint because this was the common phrase he uses daily. He went quiet and avoided looking at me. I stopped the act and told him I was trying to show him what he's like every day when he comes home from work. He said nothing, just went outside and refused to speak to me. The lack of self-awareness for him to take that long to figure out what you were doing. Like, I'm sorry, how did none of the other hints tell him it was about him? That just shows that he just ignores his bad behavior. I don't even want to say not self-aware because you've tried to tell him about it, so he should at least be a little aware. Later he went on about how I mocked and invalidated him. That he does work hard and me doing this was disrespectful and invalidating. Mom said it was funny, but also thought I hurt my dad's feelings and I could have gotten the message across some other way instead. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole because you tried to get the message across in a different way. She's tried to get the message across in a different way. If you both have made efforts to be like, "Hey, that's not great, don't love it," how is he gonna blame you for trying a different tactic? I mean, it's better than your wife divorcing you or your kids fucking hating you when they're older because they're just sick of hearing you argue and sick of you treating everybody in the house like trash. If anything, he should be fucking thanking you for making him aware of how much of a dick he is. I totally understand wanting to chill after a long fucking day of work. Sometimes you just want to relax, you want some peace and quiet, and you want a clean space. But other people fucking exist too. The people that are cleaning that space for you, the people that have to be quiet for you, like all that shit. And this is coming from somebody who like lived alone, went to college, and worked a job all at the same time, and then also had to clean my own house and make my own food. So no, I can't even see his point. No, your wife's not your maid. Your children aren't toys that you can turn off and on. It's wild. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. You held up a mirror to his behavior and he didn't like what he saw. That's on him. I hope he gets the message. Sounds like he got the message, but it doesn't seem like he understood the message considering he was upset with her about it. Somebody replied to that saying he didn't even realize he was looking in the mirror until the end. Then all the feelings crashed down hard on him. Hopefully he'll learn. Good at figuring out a method that illuminated the situation. I agree it was the method that worked, hopefully. And if it hurts his feelings, like maybe he should think about the fact that that's his behavior in the first place that hurt his own feelings. So imagine how everyone else feels when it's real, not just a joke. Not even just a joke, but like mocking or or whatever you want to call it. Am I the asshole for canceling the entire trip after finding out that my husband hid my daughter's passport? No, what? No, you're not the asshole. I feel like I don't even have to read this. I'm gonna, but like hiding somebody's passport when you're supposed to go on a trip is definitely a dick move. So I understand why you would cancel it. My husband and I have been together for 3 years. He has 3 kids from his previous relationship and I have 1. She's the oldest, 17. He's a dedicated man, puts God first, and loves everyone. My husband always complains that my daughter doesn't spend time with her step-siblings or him, but she has reasons for that, and that is school, health issues, and work. She does her best to spend as much time with them as she can, but she, on the other hand, complains that her stepdad tells her to basically take on the role of a babysitter whenever she's with her step-siblings. My husband denied that and said that my daughter was making up excuses to not have to spend time with the kids. Ooh, I don't trust this man. So she's 17, she's a teenager, she's at that point of her life where she's starting to become super independent and break off and make her own friends and have her own schedule and have her own job, which is already a big thing. And she, all of a sudden, within the past 3 years, has a bunch of younger siblings. And I understand that you want her to have a relationship with them, but if he's basically using her as fucking daycare, how is she supposed to build a relationship in that time? If she's supposed to be like, I don't know how old the kids are, but if she's supposed to be like cleaning them, feeding them, putting them to bed, helping them with their homework, all that stuff, it doesn't give her much space to actually build a relationship when she's just completely expected to babysit. For this issue, I figured that a family trip is what the family needs to get together and spend more time around each other. My husband liked the idea, but said that his kids are now uncomfortable around my daughter because of her attitude and suggested we let her stay home and have the house all to herself since that's what she always wanted. I told him it's best that we all go. He kept complaining till I snapped and told him to stop. Oh my God, what a dick. It's clear he has a problem with her. And if her kids are uncomfortable around her, maybe you haven't done a good job acclimating them to her, considering it's only been a 3-year relationship and everybody has to get used to each other and become family in the first place. It sounds like you haven't been doing a good job. I wouldn't just put that all on her. Maybe take some responsibility yourself, especially if like, even if he doesn't see it as she's making him babysit, if she feels that way, maybe he should think about her point of view. I booked, paid for the whole family. However, my daughter told me she couldn't find her passport. We turned the house upside down looking for it, but couldn't find it. My husband said maybe it was a sign from God that we should let her stay home so the trip wouldn't turn into a disaster. I ignored his comment, but later while I was cleaning his office, I found the passport tucked away in the 3rd drawer under a ton of papers. I was floored by this. I confronted him with it and he swore he had no idea why or how the passport got there. I checked the upstairs camera and saw him enter my daughter's room. That was it for me. I screamed my head off at him, then canceled the whole trip completely. He started arguing, saying I overreacted and that he didn't want his kids to be miserable on the trip, and that willing to apologize to my daughter if and when I reconsider my decision regarding the cancellation of the trip, because my stepkids will be devastated, but I said it was final and that it was done. He became cold and distant and said that he wants to take some time to do some fasting and get guidance from God about how he should deal with the disrespect and control I had displayed lately. Am I the asshole for canceling it altogether? I know it's a meme to be like, not the asshole divorce, but like genuinely, no fucking way. Crossing your daughter's boundaries by making her babysit, crossing her boundaries by not only entering her room, but taking her stuff and then hiding it from her so she can't be a part of the family vacation. He doesn't want her. He doesn't want your daughter. And if you want your daughter, then you should fucking divorce him because she's gonna end up despising you because of this. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. She's gonna have so much resentment towards you for sticking her in a family like this. I know it's probably not your intention as a mother. I know you said he seemed like a great man, but it's clear he's fucking not. Are you really willing to let this guy push around your daughter? And also on top of that, try to use your religion as an excuse? Because he said, maybe it's God's will, you know, that she can't find her passport. While he's the one fucking hiding it. He's the one making God's will. And then let's talk about the stuff he did to you in that. He lied to you to the point where you not only found the passport in his drawer, but then still kept lying, meaning that you had to go look at the fucking cameras to figure out what your husband was doing with your daughter's shit. He then called you disrespectful and controlling because you wanted your daughter on your guys' family trip that you also paid for. And on top of that, he's blaming it all on religion a little bit. Like your religion, clearly, by how you're speaking, like you care about your religion, you care about God. So he's disrespecting you, he's disrespecting your daughter, he's disrespecting the family as a whole, he's disrespecting your finances, and he's disrespecting your religion, all in the same fucking encompassing situation. If he can do all of that with one family trip, something that's supposed to be positive and good, think about when bad stuff happens with your daughter. Divorce, 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 divorce. worse. The top comment on this one is longer than we are used to, but I think we can do it. Not the asshole. He can't use your daughter as free childcare for his children, so he intentionally alienates her from his family. And yes, I said his family because it is very apparent he does not consider your family his family. Facts. Let's see what he's done in just this post alone. Your almost adult daughter has some valid reasons why she cannot spend more time as he wants with the step-siblings. He does not think her needs are equal or even important. Facts. Your husband orders her to babysit. She is not now nor will ever be his beck and call servant. Facts. You wanted, booked and paid for yourself a family vacation. He does not see her as family since he made excuses and complained that she would not go against your wishes. He does not think she deserves to go on the family vacation because he clearly does not see her as family. When he could not manipulate you into what he wanted, he forced the issue himself, then allowed you to tear through the house, causing you and your daughter stress while knowing 100% what he did caused this and had no problem with that. That's a really good point, because we already talked about the lying, but causing you guys to have that much stress, like you're about to go on vacation, that's already stressful enough, and you can't find the thing you need to go, and he's watching you guys just like freak out and being like, like villain era. He used God's will as the excuse for something he intentionally did. Does he think he's a conduit for God or God himself? Narcissist much. He lied about what he did, and when you called him out, he still continued to lie to you, and then you had proof and he ran out of valid lies. He twisted it all, saying that you were the one overreacting. When he still couldn't lie, argue, or manipulate what he wanted from you, he then turned to giving you the cold shoulder as a form of punishment to you. Oh, you've hurt my little feelings. You must adjust your ways to make me feel better, even though this is all my fault and my own doing, but I cannot be held responsible for that. Your husband wants to control you and what you do and what you want. Your husband wants to control your daughter, what she should be spending her time on, and forcing her to do things she cannot do. When he cannot easily do that, he uses manipulation and lying in order to accomplish it. When he is then held responsible for his actions, he turns it around on you. When this doesn't work, he throws a temper tantrum. He did not marry you because he wanted a wife and stepdaughter. He was looking for two females to boss around and do his bidding. In God's name, amen. I feel so bad for the daughter because I bet this is not isolated as an event. I feel like this shit has probably been going on and she's been suffering, and I feel like as a mother, it's your responsibility to take care of your kid. And you know, I don't know your living situation, but if you have a way out, I would get the fuck out before ruining that relationship and your own life, because this guy clearly doesn't want you to have your own life. He wants it to be his life plus controlling your life. I'm getting a sore throat. Can you hear that? If I talk like this, it's probably wrecking it more. Am I the asshole for getting my aunt and uncle kicked out of their house for not letting my husband and I sleep together? I mean, based off the title, it sounds like you are. Because the first time I read it, I was like, wait, their house or your house? But it's their house. So how would you get them kicked out of their house for you and your husband sleeping together? It sounds like you're the asshole, but I feel like there has to be a lot more to this because I don't even understand how those two things correlate. Like, I can't even find the connection. Male 27, am married to a man, male 28. He's the love of my life. I had only ever dated women before him, but when I met him, I realized I was bi, and we fell in love. We got married in the fall of 2018, so it's been almost 4 years. We now live in Vermont. My whole family is from a small town in Texas, a super conservative Catholic area. I was raised there, but dad got a job in New York City when I was 15. The culture shock was difficult. We went from living in rural Texas to living in an apartment in Manhattan. So are your aunt and uncle extremely homophobic, and they did something really terrible, so then you got them kicked out of their house as a retaliation? Because that I support. I don't support homophobia in this house. I mean, I'm gay, obviously, but I certainly also don't allow letting people get away with homophobia. That's where this seems to be going. I don't know, though. We'll continue. My parents didn't sell our house in Texas. They allowed our aunt and uncle, who had just had their third child, to move in while charging them small rent. In college, when I came out as bi, my brother and dad were very supportive. My mom needed some time to accept. The rest of my family reacted poorly at first, but came around. I'm sorry to hear that. It's rough. During visits, we stayed with my aunt and uncle at my old house, but because we weren't married, we weren't allowed to share a bed. We didn't argue. We both would rather make peace. Visiting since, instead of staying with my aunt and uncle, we would rent a motel room. During COVID, we did not visit them, but this summer, my parents and bro decided to go visit my hometown again for 2 weeks, and I invited my husband and I. I wanted a motel again, but my aunt and uncle insisted my brother, husband, and I stay with them. Oh boy. The first night, sleeping situation was being discussed after my cousins went to bed. My aunt and uncle wanted me and bro to take the spare bedroom, husband on couch. All three of us took issue with that. Yeah, what the fuck? Okay, weird. Okay, 3 grown fucking men. 2 of them are married, used to fucking sleeping in the same bed together. That's what they do. They're married. They sleep in the same bed. They're used to it. You're trying to make a grown brother and a grown brother sleep in the same bed when they don't want to. I'm not saying it's weird for brothers to sleep in the same bed or anything like that, but I'm saying if they don't want to, they don't feel comfortable with that, they don't like that situation, that's fucked up to make these men sleep in the same bed together. As it would be if you made 2 women who didn't want to sleep in the same bed together of weird. So why not just let the two people who are used to sleeping in the same bed sleep in the same fucking bed? Especially because before you said the problem was marriage. Now they're married. I don't see why that was a problem in the first place, but now that they're married, your reasoning is gone. I didn't know this one was gonna be homophobic. I always find these off the titles and then I read them on camera. They snapped that we were not really married because we were gay and that they had children in the house. They said that it would be a bad influence on their kids. This hurt my husband's feelings and he started crying and ran out of the room. When my husband ran out, my uncle had the audacity to start laughing. That's when I saw red. Yeah, you're not the asshole. I started cussing them out so loudly that my young cousins came to investigate. I told them that if they didn't go apologize to my husband immediately, then I was going to tell my dad what just happened and I was going to make sure to have them kicked out of the house. That was still in my parents' name. My bro seconded everything that I was saying. They started backtracking and saying that we were still welcome in their house, but that we had to follow their rules. I responded that it wasn't really their house. I told them they were going to be homeless if I had my way. The kids started crying because they heard me say they were all going to be homeless, so we left. My husband was on the porch crying. I promised him that I would never subject him to that again. I told dad what happened. To say that my dad was angry would be an understatement. He served them a notice of eviction for 60 days. I had been getting calls and texts and Facebook messages from my family calling me an asshole. I want to know, am I the asshole for allowing my young cousins to end up homeless? Is it fair that they have to pay for what my aunt and uncle said to me and my husband? Okay, so I'm glad we all know that you're not the asshole for the husband and aunt situation, or the aunt and uncle situation. I'm glad you recognize you're not the asshole for that, because you're not. I feel like that one's self-explanatory. If we really have to go over it, homophobia is fucking stupid. It's not even their house, so how could it be their rules? Subject your kids to it? Fuck you. And the uncle laughing at the tears and like utter sadness coming from your husband? Disgusting. And backtracking only when you're like, this isn't your house, and they're like, shut the fuck up. I feel like it sucks that kids get caught in the crossfire, but the parents are the ones responsible. You are not responsible. The parents did that. The parents are the ones that caused the issue. The parents are the ones that now have to deal with the consequences. And as parents, that means their consequences are also, unfortunately, their kids' consequences, even though the kids didn't do anything. It's just how it is. But also, like, you didn't make them homeless 60 fucking days. 60 days. That means if they're not already a 2-parent income household, they both got 60 days to get somebody else on a job. They have 60 days to find an apartment they can afford. 60 days may not be the most amount of time ever, but most people have like 30 days for eviction. The dad was like, nice. It's not even their fucking house. When it said sleep together, I thought it meant something else, but you literally meant something like as innocent as sleeping. Weird people aren't inherently sexual. It's not like they were just doing it in the bed super loud with like children hearing. Like they were just trying to sleep in the same bed. Ugh, God, I fucking hate people like your fucking uncle and aunt. The top comment says, not the asshole, I love your dad. Yeah, I feel that one. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. My stuff is in the description if you want to follow me anywhere else. And with that being said, I'm gonna go rest my voice for a little bit. What am I gonna end the video with? If I take this pride flag that I found on Google Images and I put it up against the screen like this, it looks like I said goodbye. Also, fuck your aunt and uncle, but not like actually, because they don't deserve to get laid ever again, because they're the worst.